Now, a panel investigating human rights violations under Tunisia's former rulers before the 2011 unrest has received 65,000 complaints. Commission head Sihem Bensedrine says the panel received a slew of complaints regarding torture, arbitrary detentions, physical abuse and violations of freedom of speech. The Truth and Dignity Commission, as it's known, has tracked abuses committed between July 1955, just a year before Tunisia gained its independence, to December 2013, when the fact-finding body was set up. Now, the period effectively covers the rules of Prime Ministers Habib Bourguiba, that of his successor, Zine Abidine Ben Ali, who was ousted in 2011, and the first post-revolutionary governments. And for more on this, we're now joined by CCTV's Youssef Geji, live for us in Tunis. Youssef, just take us through the main findings of Tunisia's Truth Commission.
Well, it may be a little early now to say exactly what are these findings. So far, we received in the Truth and Dignity Commission here over 60,000 files. But we now in Tunisia, people are starting to understand a little better what happened during the times where they were under dictatorship, whether under the President Zine Abidine Ben Ali or the previous one. So people are starting to understand how this government has used the Tunisian institutions to whether, borrow money and keep it in their pockets and invest in their businesses from the state's budget, or how they use the taxation services to actually force people to collaborate with them and to work with them to go into partnership with their businesses, how they abused human rights, and how they had a very strong-handed police who was able to suppress all dissidents. But the picture will become much, much clearer when all these complaints become public and people would see them in the television, and then they would understand better what happened back then.
And of course, then the next question, of course, then, Youssef, is what happens next? Once all these findings have been made public, will people be held accountable for their actions? Are there likely to be any prosecutions coming out of this Truth Panel?
Well, as we mentioned, the first phase is over now. The Truth and Dignity Commission has received all possible files that involved corruption of the previous regime or corruption that happened in the past 50 years. Now, next, these files will be studied by lawyers and civil society. Then they will ask the people who are involved in every single case to come forward and admit their wrongdoings in front of everybody in a public hearing that will be televised here. Following that, there is a possibility that these people reconcile with those who were hurt, or the cases could be taken to prosecution then. It's still a very long process, and the Truth and Dignity Commission does not have much time, but at the end of the process they have to file a whole report on what happened over the last 50 years in Tunisia.
All right, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks very much, Youssef Geji, live for us there in Tunis.